Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News. It is December 12th, 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I am here with Dr. Claudia Albers and also Planet X investigator Jeff P. And we will soon have Mark from the Kool channel right here on YouTube to join us. He'll be here probably in about 15 minutes. Dr. Albers, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Scott. And how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How you liking the weather? The weather up here in the Northeast?
Oh, it's terrible. It is just too cold. I don't want to go out.
Well, pretty soon there'll be a hell of a lot more snow to shovel. Jeff
Yeah.
P, my man, how you doing, brother?
I've been doing pretty good, hanging in there.
How's
You
the
guys
weather
saw
up here in
some
California?
It's actually fairly warm. I'd say sunny, brisk, a little cold at about 60 degrees over here. It's a break from the totally smoked out paradise fire smoke we've been breathing in for like 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So you definitely got some of that residual smoke from the fires.
Yeah, it was crazy. I got some drone footage of that. Well, not over the paradise area, but just in the local area. Just you could just see trying to get out of the smoke.
Okay, I'm just saying hello to everybody here in the chat. Let me just go ahead and punch that in. And we go from there. Yeah, folks, a little while ago, I was going through some SDO footage, and lo and behold, once again in the same position, it's about maybe the 1 o'clock position on the SDO. This is the composite version, and I'm going to show you what I found. The thing is, about 9 months ago, I captured the same object in the same position, and it's quite large. Now, look, you're going to have people that will tell you or make comments that what I'm about to show you is nothing more than a coronal prominence, what maybe an optical illusion. Maybe somebody will throw in the old, oh, it's a lens flare, but we know we can't have the lens flares on the SDO. I just took the opportunity before we went on air and I showed the photographs to Dr. Albers and Jeff P. And for the first 30 seconds, they were kind of speechless at what I showed them. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that up right now and let you folks check it out. So let me go ahead and flip over here and I'll share my screen. We'll get some commentary from Dr. Albers and Jeff P. on this. Just go ahead and bring this up. Now, this is the original screenshot that I took, and this is dated for yesterday, December 11th, and the time was about 3:40 UTC time. And right up here in the upper right-hand corner, that's about maybe the 1 o'clock position, 1 or 2 o'clock position on the sun, right where my cursor is. You can see a very, very large, darkened, spherical shape right there. And, as I was playing the full 48-hour video, well, you can see this object kind of appear, and over maybe about a day or a day and a half in the 48-hour loop, you can see this object actually moving and moving backwards. So it's actually rotating backwards around the back side of the sun. And down here in about the 7 o'clock position, I've captured this object many, many times before. So that kind of coincides with my theory of the way that this Planet X object, the main object, is orbiting the sun in about a 28-day pattern. It's about the same 28-day rotation that our sun has. And if any of you don't realize or don't know, our sun does turn. It does rotate. Takes approximately 28 days for one full revolution. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next photograph here. Now, I'm going to click back and forth. I want you guys to keep your eyes right here because these were two different time levels, and you'll see the object moving. So I'm just going to click back and forth, and you'll see that it's moving. It's entirely too spherical, too dark. It's not a coronal prominence, coronal cavity, anything like that. It's exactly what we know it is, bottom line. So here's a blown up version of it. And I got some pretty good detail when I took this screenshot. The only thing that I did was just simply increased the resolution just a little bit so we could get a little bit of a clearer shot of it. And lo and behold, I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit. And it doesn't pixelate. And, well, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not the first time, folks, that I've captured this object in this position. 9 months ago, I caught it in the same place. Okay, actually, it looked a little bit bigger. And it's probably due to the fact that it was out of position and a little bit closer down over here. But we'll go over all of that later on. I'll show you those photographs. And here's one more that's close up without me actually zooming in with my cursor. So I haven't touched the photographs. I haven't adjusted any of the coloring or anything like that. What you're looking at is raw data. The only thing I've done is increased the resolution by 25%. You can tell that right up here by these very, very small pixels. So, Dr. Albers,
Yeah.
what do you think about?
Well, I think we have a large object there, slightly behind the sun. It actually looks like there's another one below it that seems to be striped, but that's what it looks like to me. No, we do expect these objects to be in these images, We've been catching them for a long time.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I was just having a conversation with Mark very, very early this morning, and I mean very, very early. And I was telling him how, over the course of the last 2 years, we've basically showed NASA how we make our discoveries. So today, I'm very, very surprised that I actually captured this. Even though I do my daily research, I cover a very, very wide range of models and, websites where we gather the information. And I don't know. I think they've been, kind of censoring all of the material from, LASCO and the Stereo Core 2 and also SDO. Dr. Albers, you've had some issues that you'd like to talk about with what you think they're doing with the SDO. But they're definitely doing something, folks. Now, maybe somebody missed this. Maybe I caught it as fast as I usually do before they take it down. I don't know. Jeff, what do you think, buddy?
Well, I believe it's very legit, man. It's a little faint. I've been trying to pick this up myself as well, and that's a pretty impressive catch. Have you got a cycle or any timing of this? Like, does this happen every week or 30 days or something, like an orbit?
Usually, when it is at this position, it's normally in the middle of the month. And I've told everybody before, there are usually 2 times during the month, every month, that you can make this capture if the time is right. And that is in the middle of the month and at the end of the month, about the last 5 days of the month. So where are we at today? We're in the middle of the month. It's December 12th. So we're pretty close to the middle of the month. And if we wait and possibly they let us see it again, we will actually see it down here as it comes across in its orbit. And that's what I keep telling everybody. You know, the orbit that I theorize this object is in is a very, very tight, very fast orbit. It takes approximately 28 days, and it comes out a little bit further on this side, and then it loops around. And this is its slingshot position right here. So it will slingshot back on the back side of the sun. I mean, look, folks, that's why we don't have the stereo B. Okay. They took the stereo B away from us, several years ago, claiming that there was a computer malfunction during a controlled roll of the satellite, and it just got out of control, and we don't have it anymore. I don't believe that. Dr. Albers, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I calculated the likely orbit for the object that causes the SDO eclipse season, and it follows a very complex orbit. It follows two elongated orbits, both about 180 days long. That's the orbital period. And then in between, it switches from one to the other. And in between, it goes around the sun for 24 days in a very close orbit. And it reaches perihelion once a day. And that's when the sun goes dark. So it does its loop around the sun for 24 days. And then it goes into 6 months orbit. And so it comes back after 6 months. And then it does the close orbit again for 24 days. And then it goes into another long orbit. It's slightly longer. So that's the kind of orbit. I mean, and the elongated orbit will take it out quite far because it's an elliptical orbit. It's not circular. So that's similar to what you were saying, that these objects will come very close to the sun and have a very close orbit around the sun for, up to a month, 24 days a month. And they can come in about, every couple of hours. They may come in and actually hover in the sun's corona and make that connection that we've seen them make sometimes. And then they go back to going around the sun. They connect again and then go around, connect again. It's a very odd orbit. It's not.
Yeah, it's definitely erratic. See, folks, it's not on a flat plane like this. The Earth and a lot of our planets, okay? It's not on a flat plane like this. It's actually looping around.
And they can switch from one direction to the next, because I've seen it in the SDO images when they cut off the image, how it will go to the North Pole or close to the North Pole and then close to the South Pole. That's where they make the connection, because that's the part they cut off. Or it goes to the east side, the west side of the sun, and they just go everywhere sometimes in a chaotic manner. Their orbit is very chaotic sometimes.
I mean, there's just no doubt. I've never had a doubt in all my years of, researching this and investigating it. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that our inner solar system and our sun has been invaded by these objects. And I'll just use that word, invaded. Like I tell a lot of people, and I've told a lot of people, most people don't have a conception of outer space. I'm no scientist or astrophysicist, but I've been studying Earth and space science for more than half of my life. And if you think that our solar system is passing through space and we are never ever going to encounter any other type of stellar objects, well, you're wrong. It's just like walking down a busy street. You're eventually going to encounter somebody. And today, these somebodies, these stellar core objects, well, they're showing up once again on the STO. It's staring you right in the face. Plain and simple. Any comments, Jeff?
Just know you did some impressive work there, my friend.
Yeah,
You know,
me and Jeff were having a conversation, well, maybe like 30 minutes before we went on the air. And I told him, I said, look, I have a few things I got to do real quick, and then we'll get to our live stream. And lo and behold, as soon as I got off the phone with him, I went and I checked the SDO with the 48-hour loop on the composite, and bingo, there it was. So, you know, we see constantly these coronal holes opening up. And here's one of my theories that, let me just go ahead and back this out a little bit. Get over to the next one here. We always see the coronal holes coming from this left side over here. And then they'll open up real big, always earth facing. And those coronal holes definitely have a very, very serious effect on our planet. But if you just take a look at where the object is and where it's passing in the backside of the sun, that passage on the backside of the sun that we can't see, it's literally ripping the sun's surface, the sun's coronal surface, right off. And then we see the coronal holes developing and moving from here to here, earth facing. We've been seeing the same pattern since about 2016. It has probably been occurring before that. But as far as I've been investigating and observing it, it's been for the last almost 3 years now. We've seen the increase in the earthquake activity and volcanic activity, and now we have very, very serious issues with our weather. And Jeff, how is the weather situation out there on the West Coast?
it's actually fairly mild right now. Clear skies, about 60 degrees.
Oh, well, we definitely don't have any clear skies here on the East Coast.
Well, slightly chemtrailed on the horizons as usual, but that's about it.
Yeah. It's we went, I think we went 20 days with no daylight, like no artificial sun, street lights on by 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It just looks completely dismal, you know, no sign of light whatsoever. It's actually kind of weird, you know. It's like you're living in Alaska where they have 6 months of darkness and 6 months of daylight. But definitely weird. You know, earlier today, I was checking out the cactus because I detected, small coronal mass ejection. And when I was checking the cactus, lo and behold, as I slowed it down, as I've done many times before, and made absolutely phenomenal captures on the cactus, lo and behold, here we go. The same sphere has now moved past. And this is usually its ejection point right here. Now, the cactus is a model. It's a computerized model. It's not actually situated on the spacecraft, okay? It's converted into these images. And this was part of a coronal mass ejection at the same time, December 10th, 11th, and moving out today on the 12th. So you can barely see it. It's a little pixelated, as it always is on the cactus, but you can see it perfectly round right there. Little blurry, but this is kind of suspicious here too. This is really weird. I've never seen that type of anomaly in a coronal mass ejection either. That was that big, gigantic teardrop shape.
Yeah, it does look strange.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Do you think that could be another stellar core there?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that or it is part of the
Just a planetary
reaction.
It looks a bit very rounded. So
yeah, wouldn't a reaction between planets have some kind of a toroidal shape to it? You know?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of reminds me of the anomaly that we've been seeing on the Secchi images of the big plasma loop that comes off of Venus every couple of months. And when the Secchi spacecraft is in position and Venus is in position, it captures that wild looking loop that comes out of the side. I've investigated it quite a bit. I've done a few articles on it, and very interesting. It has a lot to do with Venus not having an atmosphere, but also being pounded by the particles from the solar wind. And Dr. Albers could give you a better scientific.
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't think it's possible that Venus would do a thing like that. It means there's a plasma ejection coming off that object. So what they actually do is there's another object there. We know that they did that with that object that we saw in that HI1 images that we saw the other day, and they called it Jupiter, and it wasn't Jupiter because the object turned out to actually be very large and surrounded by a huge debris field. So I think what they called Venus in those images, not actually Venus, it's one of the stellar cores, and they may even make it look much smaller than it actually is. So I think it's the same case as what they did, calling that object Jupiter, which obviously could not have been Jupiter.
Yeah, they could label these things anything.
Yeah, they just label it anything.
But this was pretty incredible. I'll post these photographs on the Planet X News Facebook page. You guys can check them out. Share them with people. Give a little explanation, and bring more people into the awakening. Earlier today, there was a magnitude 4.4 earthquake that occurred not too far from Decatur, Tennessee. Now, I went back 30 years into the data, and there are occasional earthquakes in this area. And I mean occasional, but nothing of a magnitude 4.4. Now, I captured this hours after it occurred. There are two earthquakes. There was a 3.25 at the same time. Now, the USGS decided to only list and report this one. Okay. I don't know why, but that's just what they did. And I posted the information on our Facebook page, and many people were telling me, oh, no, the USGS downgraded that. And I said, no, they did not downgrade it. They're lying, because that was a magnitude 4.4, because I don't rely on the USGS for all of my information. I have other avenues to get real-time data and real-time reporting other than the USGS. So they did report it at first as a 4.4. Then they deleted that 4.4 and they left the magnitude 3.2 up. So I showed all of the people in the Facebook thread that no, the USGS is choosing not to show this 4.4. Within 30 minutes, it was on the morning news. They were talking about it. Then I showed that by, I think it was about by 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, 6,000 people from Tennessee to Georgia reported feeling this earthquake. 6,000 people in a matter of an hour. Okay. So do you think that people would feel a magnitude 3 compared to a 4.4? That just goes to show you that the USGS is not truthful all the time, and we really can't trust their data. But we caught them today. And on the 6 o'clock news, they reported on a magnitude 4.4. All across the board. ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, CNN, everywhere. 4.4, not a 3.2. The 3.2 was actually a secondary earthquake. They basically happened at the same time.
Why would they even lie about it in the first place, unless it's an area that...
Well, that's not too far from the New Madrid fault line. That's the issue right there. And if you go back in history and you dig into that big New Madrid earthquake, wow. I mean, I looked at all of the historical data and photographs and the historical writings from people who wrote it down in, newspapers and journals and letters and things of that nature. It lasted for weeks with massive like spurts of like almost like geysers coming up out of the ground, but not out of water, out of the ground. It looked like Yellowstone. A river disappeared, a lake disappeared. And it really freaked these people out back in the 1800s. These were a lot of settlers that were just entering that area. Thank God there wasn't a bigger population, or else there would have been some definite damage if that would have occurred in today's time. But that's what I had for you guys, folks. I also got a lot of people have been sending me really, really crazy looking iridescent clouds, asking a lot of questions why we're seeing them. Because, like I've mentioned before, I'm 50 years old. Dr. Albers is just a little over 50 years old. Jeff, I don't know your age. Well, are you close to our age?
Yep.
Don't mean to put you on the spot like that, buddy. But people are saying, oh, I've never seen anything like this before. What's causing this? And more people are starting to wake up to the fact that they are looking up and they are seeing very, very strange things occurring. Okay. Like angled clouds that have these weird formations of 90-degree angles. And again, I have access to all kinds of news outlets all around the world. And lo and behold, going through those early this morning in South Florida, the meteorologist took a photograph right before going into the news studio at supposed sunrise and showed an absolutely wacky 90-degree angle within the clouds. And I'll pull it up in a second. And he posted it on his Twitter feed. I think this photograph came from Romania. I'm not sure. But just look at that. I mean, that looks like that reminds me of a spilling oil on the ground and adding water as the sunlight hits it.
Yeah, that's the lens array and the sun simulator doing this.
Yep. Do your thing, Jeff. Give me some commentary on that. That looks pretty wild, though, right?
Yeah. I've got some footage I caught from Scotland that kind of that strengthens this case. Would you like to see it?
Yeah. I'm going to show a few more of these pictures here real quick, and I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, it looks like as the sun's setting, it's catching the edge of the lens array, and we're getting this effect.
Yeah, I've actually captured this myself numerous times. A lot of weird photographs coming in, folks. I mean, a lot.
Yeah, what are they calling those? Like swamp gascular clouds or what?
Iridescent clouds. Let me just show you guys this here real quick. I sent these video files over to Jeff, and he's gonna be doing a video on these himself, giving a complete explanation on what he's visualizing. But this came from one of our subscribers from Canada, Ontario, and he was pretty thrown back by what he saw. And we had a little bit of a inbox conversation earlier this morning, and he's never seen anything like this before. Jeff, you want to elaborate on this?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here is an eclipse, and the viewer. I got it. Okay, so the viewer at this point in time is only seeing. Oh, Kool-Aid's here.
Yeah, cool.
You guys got me?
We got you, buddy.
Kool-Aid.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Yeah, we're just commenting on this sun halo, its effect. I personally experienced these halos, and they've definitely gotten darker. And one thing we've seen is the true sun is being eclipsed. The light from the sun simulator is only the one that we're looking at. And the light from the sun simulator coming from around the edges of the giant lens in the sun simulator. And during this event, we've actually felt an absence of heat, like a heat drop. And the light looks more artificial in the surrounding light around you. And sometimes it can be partial or more of a full eclipse of the sun.
Something just happened to this video. Oh man, that's terrible.
Mm.
Let me see if I could pull that back up again, because that was captured.
Claudia Hours had some similar theories. But I
wrote an article recently about that they have a projector and they have a lens in front of it. And at the edges of the lens, you get refraction. And that's what causes this rainbow effect. And this is due to Planet X dust entering the atmosphere. It's entering more and more. And it absorbs light now and then. And it gets to a point where it actually causes the matter that surrounds it. It causes cloud condensation around it. And it causes the cloud to actually emit light because of the absorption process. Because there's energy transferring from the Earth matter to the Planet X matter, which is low in energy. And it causes light emission, actually. So this may be what's happening here. Other times, we see red clouds. That is, if it's brighter than the environment, it's actually emitting light. But if it's about the same color, say we have red, that means that the stellar core matter is not absorbing the red. So the red that's coming from the simulators is being reflected off, and the other frequencies are being absorbed.
Yeah, this is pretty radical.
Red.
This is definitely pretty radical footage.
Yeah.
This is coming from the a YouTube channel called Skywatch 180. And if you guys just go to your YouTube search box and type in Skywatch 180, subscribe to this guy's channel. He's got some pretty good material on there to look at. And once again, it is just proof positive that more and more people are stepping through the threshold of the awakening. And, you know, I coined that phrase 3 years ago because that is truly what it is. You know, somebody can point to something in the sky and show you. But if you don't have any knowledge of what is going on, then, as we say, you're asleep. You're in a coma. So more and more people are stepping through that threshold into the awakening because now they are looking up. They are seeing things that are not making sense. They're seeing things that they've never seen before, and they're starting to ask questions. Big time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen anything like this in my 50 years of existence until last year.
Yeah, you can see that the clouds themselves do not look like normal clouds. It looks like a very chaotic arrangement of, water droplets, because the shape, it doesn't look, it's full of straight lines in certain places and wiggles in other. Those don't look like normal clouds, even without the colors.
Looks like an oil spill.
Yeah, that's what I said in the beginning. Looks like you spilled some oil on the ground, and you know, lo and behold. And here was another video clip I want to share with you guys real quick. This was right after the California fires. This was recently. Folks were allowed back into their properties, and this was coming from Paradise. Now, there was a tree here, this hole. You could see what's left of the stump.
They vaporized the tree.
But why is the grass and everything else not burnt? It's not just one tree. Look at this one. I mean,
That reminds me of what the trees were burning from the inside out.
yeah.
That's why I wonder, Claudia, wouldn't the microwave energy affect trees of a certain diameter and ignore others because the microwave beam refracting inside the tree itself?
Yeah, but you know it's possible they're using microwaves. The microwaves will be absorbed by water, be reflected by metallic objects. So if a tree is alive and has water, it can be affected by microwaves. But usually they don't use microwaves as weapons. They use other energy. They could use X-ray lasers.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I brought up microwave energy, because I found an article that PG&E in 2016, 1 year before the Santa Rosa fire, that they were using space-based energy, and they were taking solar cells and putting them in space and beaming it 35,000 kilometers back to Earth on an array of antennas at the Mojave Desert. Then they proposed that they wanted to move the array of the same antennas from Mojave Desert to Sebastopol, which is only like 10 miles from the fires.
Oh.
So, and that was an actual article. You can actually just look it up online that PG&E brokered this deal in 2016.
Okay.
So
Well,
the microwave energy might be a method of transmitting that great power and then transducing into a form of microwave energy. But
the microwaves will be absorbed by the atmosphere because there's a lot of water and oxygen in the atmosphere. That's why I don't think they would use microwaves. Plus, there's a lot of metals, and microwaves are not absorbed by metals. They very badly absorbed by metals. And we see what they did to those cars. So I would think they used higher energy light, visible light, ultraviolet light, laser weapons.
Yeah,
well, that's true. I do have
more concentrated
evidence of pulse laser lights coming from the sun simulator.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that. Speaking of sun simulator, somebody sent me this footage from, I believe, Russia. And this was in the morning, as you can see, you know, pretty busy street, people going to work, very, very cold. But they thought that the whole situation of the sun simulator, because that's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, look at its position. It looks like it's over top of the building right here.
Mm-hmm.
So that would tell me it's not very, 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 very far away. It's definitely not 93 million miles away.
No.
No way.
Yeah.
And yet, why does it always change diameter and great size as we're tracking it across the sky?
Exactly. Exactly. One more video clip I'm going to show you guys. I was sent this. I believe this was in Indonesia, if I'm not mistaken. I get so many videos sent in to me every single day. The background on this, you know, these folks were just, you know, they're in their like a flea market type area, store type area. All of a sudden, you know, this absolutely insane storm came through, but really no signs of it whatsoever. And then the next thing you know, boom, that's it. Literally blew the roof right off of this business while the people were standing underneath it.
Wow.
Man.
Okay? And it was like just a big burst of wind, almost hurricane force, and it came in and it left with a bunch of destruction.
Yeah, that's to be expected if a stellar core comes in and settles down over the top of the region. I mean, it comes down over the top. We don't see it because the simulators and the holographic projections they do with them cover it up so we don't see it, but it comes down to a certain altitude and then moves up again. It creates gravitational vortices, which is basically turns into a wind vortex.
Yeah, that's probably what hit right here. You know what? This is from the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken, not Indonesia. I think this was in the Philippines where this occurred, and it just was just the other day that this occurred. And thank God no people were actually injured. But as you can see, it caught these people totally by surprise. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And Blue Kool-Aid.
What's up, man?
What's going down, brother?
Well, too many stones is what's going down.
Yeah, how's that kidney doing? You have those stones in both kidneys or just one?
Yeah, I got them in both. I've had them since I was 12, and sometimes I end up with stents and surgery and the whole bit, but hopefully not this time. So yeah,
Oh,
a lot of pain.
Lord.
A lot of pain. I don't take pain medication either, so yeah.
Yeah, once they get you on those pain meds, it's it's straight downhill from there. Well, listen, everybody, if you're not familiar with Mark and his channel Blue Kool-Aid, he's been doing his own research for some time now, and he's making some great observations. And if you guys want to subscribe to his YouTube channel, I would definitely recommend it, because he does make some really good observations. And like I've said before, folks, you need to find people out there on YouTube or Facebook or the internet that are giving you real, true observations, not some fake bull crap, just showing you a bunch of junk and claiming it's Nibiru. You want scientific evidence, not a freaking picture show. Okay. And Mark's been making some great observations since I've been following his channel. We've been trying to get him on to collaborate with myself and Dr. Albers and Jeff P. But Mark, you want to tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into where you're at now with investigating these matters?
Yeah, sure. Well, I just kind of, just like anybody else, like for a lot of us that are kind of new to the community, I've been in the background for, I don't know, a couple of years now, and, wasn't fully awake at first, like a lot of us, kind of pushing away, just not wanting to believe just because of, the gloom and doom that comes along with it. You don't want to believe this kind of stuff. And then you see too much stuff like from your channel and everybody else's. It's just like hits you in the face. But finally you wake up one day and you believe it. And there it is, And for me, I was sending pictures and stuff to everybody, like I said, in the background. And eventually I was sending so much stuff, it just got to be where I couldn't send all the stuff I was seeing. So I just posted a couple, videos on my channel. That's actually how I got started, just with my channel. I really had no intentions of starting a YouTube channel at all. But that's just how it all worked out. And, I kind of stick to more of the satellite imagery and stuff like that, because it's just so hard to kind of trust everybody, what they're sending you, what they're trying to show you. It's hard to get around all that. But, so I just try to stick to that, and I'm learning a lot. I'm still learning. I mean, if you come to my channel, you're going to get honest. That's what you're going to get over at my channel, because when I make a mistake, I say, hey, I made this mistake, and usually I'll do a correction video. So that's, I think people kind of respect that a little bit, because they know that you're not getting lied to on purpose. And that's big for a lot of people. And I think that helps wake a lot of people up too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the number one factor in, everything that we do. And that is being honest with your observations. not trying to, not trying to trick people. I see a lot of fakery every single day on YouTube and on Facebook. And, look, I don't know what the people's motive is. Like I've said before, maybe they want to be, this internet sensation, be this, this rock star figure. But listen, there is no rock star status in what I do or what Dr. Albers does or what Jeff P does as investigating what we're finding as true observations. There's no celebrity status in there, folks. Okay, it creates a really bad havoc in your life. You have people trolling you. You have people trying to do absolutely horrendous and horrible things to you. You have people making nonsense videos about you on a daily basis. And, look, you all know how I feel about them. They're pretty much the scum of the earth. And they'll be the first ones crapping in their pants when the shit hits the fan.
And then we'll come right to your station and start asking you questions.
Yeah, well, by then there won't be.
Well, yeah, there won't be no communication going on, but you know what I mean. I mean, it's like that's who they're going to come to. They're going to come to people that, like us, I guess. Asking questions, trying to figure it out. And by that time it's going to be too late. And
yeah,
but,
no doubt about that.
Jeff, I will say this: I got into this, and it just like swarmed you. It just like hit me in the face, and it was like, wow. I mean, because I don't do this for subs. I don't do this for views. I want everybody to see it. And yes, I look at my sub count just like anybody else. It's just out of curiosity. It kind of gives you kind of a sort of a gauge of how people are kind of responding to you. And, that's what it's about for me. I just want people to hear it and see it. And just through the emails and the correspondence I've had with some of my subscribers, I don't know, it was like last week, there was 5 different people that started up their own channels. They're real small right now, of course, but at least they're waking up and they're trying to, do something and make their own observations. And that's kind of what I focused it on my channel, is showing people how to actually get to these tools. Now, I couldn't tell them exactly what they're looking at sometimes. You know this, Scott. I talked to you a lot about this, trying to figure out what I'm actually looking at.
Yeah.
And, because I can make an observation. I think most of us can make those kinds of observations and tell if it's normal or not. Might not be able to tell you exactly what it is, but we can sure tell the difference between something that's normal and something that's not. And, so I kind of like that. I kind of like people, stepping out there on their own and trying to, just help. And I think it's going to take all of us. It's not just going to be 4 or 5 people.
Yeah, I agree. And over the years, I've recommended that people, open up their own YouTube channels and show the photographs on Facebook. But when you're opening up the YouTube channels, don't try to deceive people, because you're not doing any good. Okay, people need to know the truth. They need to have somewhat of an explanation. We're not out here trying to scare people, as we're called commonly, fear mongers. Ooh, But the bottom line is, it is what it is, folks. You're living in a lifetime now where you are going to see and experience things that you never dreamed about. We are now truly living in this very weird matrix, and it's definitely getting weirder each and every day. What I wanted to do, Jeff, I wanted to ask you, because we have a lot of new followers, a lot of new subscribers. But how did you come about getting into this type of investigation and your observations? Where did your start begin?
I was tracking. My rabbit hole started with pretty much Phil Schneider was a big one, and Bob Lazar, with Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
And then the 911 events kind of got me going deep. And then Phil Schneider went going into the underground cities, and that was pretty huge. And I was really trying to, in my brain, I really wanted to dig up the whole UFO phenomenon, what powers these crap and anti-gravity and all that. And I had a friend that was, he was convinced. We were in a little group of people, and he kept, dude, Planet X, Planet X, Planet X. Until one day I looked on a German webcam, and I actually saw it coming in. And then I kept observation, like, wow, look at that, would only explanation that for all the world events. And then one day, if you ever watched my videos showing like shadows and some looks almost like a blob, and then one day the sun was setting in Sacramento, and my wife would go, she goes, there it is. And I go, there what is? And I could play that footage for you. I never posted it, but it was, I actually felt it. And it was this, it actually had almost the shape of an X. It was kind of a teardrop shape to it. And the sun, it stayed in that spot in the sky, and it was pretty ominous. It just, my jaw just dropped when I looked at it with I was hoping to never catch it again, but it never passed by here again.
I've had some pretty jaw-dropping moments over the years, capturing these objects on the NASA satellite websites. I've just come to the conclusion that they are definitely there. They're definitely affecting the sun in very, very bad ways. And, now on top of all of that, we're coming close, or if we're not already into this solar minimum, and that solar minimum will last for, 11 years, as these scientists say. There's a pretty good YouTube channel out there, the Grand Solar Minimum. Jake and Mari do a fantastic job in their research into the Grand Solar Minimum, and you guys could easily look it up on YouTube in the search.
Didn't they used to troll you?
What's that?
Didn't they used to troll you?
Yeah, and they'll, then now they're on to the Grand Solar Minimum, and they're actually doing some really, really good scientific work, interviews with top-notch people that have been investigating Grand Solar Minimum for a long, long time. So it definitely adds fuel to the fire with what we're all investigating. And I believe now truly that these two events are going to clash together, and it's going to be one big hell of a surprise. And it's not going to happen 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. We're already living it. We're already in the beginning stages of it. We've only seen the infancy of this. Okay, there is a hell of a lot more to come. And you're seeing it clear as day in your weather. The weather is getting absolutely catastrophic worldwide on a daily basis. But I want to get to Dr. Albers. Dr. Albers, what brought you to the point where you are now? When did you start making your own first observations?
Well, it was in 2016, about the middle of the year, when I noticed that the sky was pink. And to me, that was impossible. The sky should not be pink. And I thought, well, there's something strange going on. At first, I thought that there would be an object emitting that light. I knew it couldn't be the sun. And now I've discovered that it wasn't the sun. It's actually the Planet X system stellar course, the Planet X system, which I discovered it surrounds the solar system on all sides. It's not just a few objects coming in. They come in as comets and have been doing so for thousands of years. And it's possible that several thousand years ago, the solar system either entered the system or something happened to all the stars around the solar system and they all got destroyed. All these star systems are destroyed. These are destroyed star systems. So it's the star, the central star, all the planets, and all the moons. So it's thousands and thousands and thousands of objects. They're all dead. And they come into the solar system, and they've been coming to the sun for thousands of years. They're low in energy, so they're low in gravitational influence. And they've been attacking the sun, taking away the sun's corona for thousands of years. And after they get to the sun, they come to the earth. And they interact with the earth. And because they are dead, they don't have an outer negative layer, which means they can enter inside the atmosphere of other celestial objects. Because usually an object that has a negative outer layer, the two negative outer layers will repel, and so they will repel and move away. But these objects only have a positive core, so they can go right into the atmosphere of other objects. That's why they go into the sun's corona. They've been absorbing the sun's corona for years, and I believe they're tearing the sun apart. And they have actually now stopped the sun from emitting light. It may be emitting infrared, but I don't think it's emitting visible light because it's lost its corona. That's how objects emit light, from the corona and from the atmosphere. The Earth emits light from the atmosphere. That's what happens when there are lightning storms in the Earth's atmosphere. Stars are the same way. So these objects have basically stopped the sun from shining. And I believe that may have happened quite a few years ago. And then they put up the sun simulation system devices in the atmosphere, which emit light, create the blue sky. And this is why we can have shadows on clouds. I've shown quite a few pictures of shadows on clouds. The only way you can have a shadow produced by a chemtrail on cloud above it is if the sun is not shining from above. Because if the sun was shining from above, there's no way you would have a shadow on a cloud because the light's coming from above. So this is basically how I started. I saw the pink light. Now I know what the pink light is. It's Planet X dust coming into the atmosphere, and cloud formation occurs around this Planet X dust, and it absorbs energy, and the energy it absorbs is light. So it absorbs, first of all, it absorbs everything, so the clouds will look dark. And then it stops absorbing the red. So the red is reflected. The red is emitted by the simulators. And then there is blue. So they go on absorbing the green, and they emit the blue and the red, and that produces pink clouds. There's always extra blue in the atmosphere because the simulators have to emit a lot of blue light to make sure that you don't see the red skies. Otherwise, we'd have red skies all the time. And they need to produce that blue sky. It wouldn't be there if they didn't emit a lot of blue light. And they are emitting light from below. They are facing upwards and emitting blue light. And these objects sometimes create punctures in clouds, and you would see the dark outline of the object. But the simulator is emitting light, so it looks blue.
We've definitely seen the different colorations of the sky. Just what recently we started seeing all of these purple skies all over the world. People posting photographs of these really purple skies. But the picture that I have up on the screen now is proof positive that the sun is being affected in a very dramatic way by the decrease in the sun's corona. And I put this together a couple of weeks ago, and this is the same exact date and time for all photographs from 2013 all the way to 2018. And you can clearly see the drastic change and decrease in the sun's corona. You want to elaborate on that, Dr. Albers?
Yeah, I've written an article where I show I talk about when did they find out that the sun was dying. And one of the things I found is LASCO C1 images from 1986, but the SOHO spacecraft was launched in 1995. So I believe they're doing one of those little tricks where, they like to disclose, but around the disclosure, in other words, they're trying to tell the truth, but around the disclosure where they're trying to tell the truth, they put a whole lot of lies around it so that people don't realize what they are saying. So what they're really saying is we have altered the timestamps on the images. So this is really images from 1986, but we are saying they from much later than they were. In other words, I believe they've altered the timestamps on these images. So they may be from the 1990s, but they're showing them to us as if they are from now.
So what are you saying? My pictures are fake?
No, they're not fake. They're real images of the sun. They're just not from 2018. They may be from 1998.
Well, look, you know, we know that NASA and their little departments do all kinds of, you know, fun little things with their images and their data. And we've been seeing that quite a lot. Matter of fact, I was just discussing that with Mark in our conversation that we were having. Jeff, I know there's a few video clips that you want to get into, so you could go ahead and take over the screen if you want to.
Okay. Let's give me 1 second. Get everything queued up here.
Cue it up, baby. Cue it up.
All right. You guys are in for a surprise if you haven't seen my last 2 or 3 videos. More rock solid, smoking gun proof of the sun simulator. Now, some of the trolls are going to say, you're just going to have to watch this for yourself. I'll see if I can cue this up here. Get these people trolls.
You got to use the right terminology. You got to call them troll babies like Scott.
Yeah, troll babies, shieldards. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the troll babies.
You know that.
Because they
Troll is my acronym for truth resisting organized lying Luciferians.
Yeah, they're tired of me slapping them around and changing their diaper. All right.
Okay, so you guys see the camera here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is the cliffside of Pedicure Beach in Scotland. I'll see my cursor here. You can already see the light from the lens array. From the sunbeam here. Now, this is time-lapse film, and I caught this. I'm just showing you one of the days, but you know, each time the sun passes, it's going to do a different arc across the sky. Watch what happens as the sun passes in front down this cliff. Now, forward-facing is nothing but an ocean. Now, because of the cliff surface, it doesn't look like a perfect X until a little bit. I'm going to pause it, and you're going to see the perfect X, or at least you can see the angles of it. Now, this happened multiple days on at least four different occasions.
Yeah, it's obviously creating an image of the source.
I think what we're looking at is the lenses in front converging at all these different points. Watch it right.
It's creating a focal point there.
You guys see that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, that's clear as day there, buddy.
That's amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
I mean, that's literally like somebody shining a spotlight from way, way up above directly on that cliffside.
Here's another one from a sub. Sorry about the feedback. I don't know what's causing that. Check this guy out. I had to slow it down 8 times to show this. Watch this guy. I'll show you the original footage in a minute.
Yeah, I see the cross there.
You see those spirals? That's slowed down 8 times.
Wow.
We'll show you the original footage, what it looked like. Watch
I think it's showing us what the simulator light source may look like.
I think we're looking right down those beams of light.
Yeah.
Now check this out. This is from the same beach on the same day. Watch this. So when his foot comes across. Okay. You see in the middle of the screen right there?
Mm-hmm.
See the split beam. Remember MB3 and the split flashlight?
Yeah.
And watch what happens when it comes over here. Oh, that was just one day. These are of course of several days. Here's a really impressive one. I'm gonna do different days. This is the 26th of October. Watch this. Here I think we're gonna start seeing the structure of the sun simulator. See that beam of light there?
Yes.
Just like comes out of nowhere. Looks like it's coming out of a portal. And then we'll look at this. This is really stunning.
Yeah.
What's over on the right?
That's my point. Looks like the clouds come out of a portal here.
Yeah, that's definitely weird.
Yeah, it's
Wait.
like
the
it's
best is that to come.
projecting.
Watch this next one. Here's you're going to start seeing the structure. Here's the November 1st. Now, I'm going to pause it here. Look how my point here. This light, I believe this is the beam of light. It's the same beam we saw going down the cliff. Watch how it disappears behind like something hidden here, and then reemerges on the other side of this cloud. And we're going to start seeing it right there. Do you see this structure?
Yes, very interesting.
Wow.
I think that's. I'll play that full speed.
You see the right in the middle of the screen?
Well, it definitely doesn't look normal.
You see that? There's something there,
Definitely
man.
not.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, it's projecting something into the air, and that's what I would expect, because a lot of what's being done is holographic projections, which are three-dimensional images, and but they don't always get it right. So this may be another one of those malfunctions.
Let's look at another one.
I don't want to
Where I
interrupt.
think this is.
Yeah, listen, real quick, Jeff. I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you have your Google Hangout app opened? That may be why you're getting that feedback. It's right there.
Is it better?
Yeah. Well, no, it's still echoing.
Well, I'm trying to muted the. Anything else I need to mute?
Oh, I guess I don't know. It all of a
I
sudden.
got to be able to hear you, so I turn on the YouTube player. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not. No, I haven't got YouTube muted.
Yeah, that's strange. All of a sudden, as soon as you started showing your footage, it started to echo. You never know. It may be the powers that be
Far
listening.
away from the computer. Maybe that's a little better. Remember those spiraling beams of light?
Yeah, right there. Wow.
See those beams?
Yes.
I think that's the same thing we saw from that other footage.
Mm. Very interesting. Yeah.
Let me show you the original footage now. You can watch it in real time. That, the trolls, they want to keep saying this is cigarette smoke. What a joke. It's a total joke, man. There's no way it could possibly be smoke. There's just no way. There is no way. Smoke does not travel at the speed of sound. You just type in Jeff P was right, or Jeff P is right. So here it is. Here's the original footage. Now I had to slow it down so you'd see that. Look how fast, you don't even see the smoke.
Look at those, yeah. Now, I've caught beams coming off the simulator as well, even sharper than these.
Yeah, I think it's right down that beam. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
And then, actually, you could actually see the dude's face in this reflection in this video. You can see he's wearing a blue shirt, and he's got no cigarette. He's holding up a cell phone with both of his hands. We'll just keep watching.
Mm-hmm.
Watch how fast. Look at the direction and speed of the smoke. I can't tell you the freaking troll clowns that keep talking on this stuff.
Yeah.
And I will double down and triple down because I've got more and more proof of this.
Mm.
Oh, there's no doubt. They definitely have something up there.
Oh, yeah.
See that? Look at there. That. Okay, you might think he's got cigarette smoke there.
So they're making a big deal.
But this one here later on where I showed you that big, where I had to slow it down 8 times, that right here comes right there. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, this is real-time speed.
Mm.
And we slow this down 8 times to get. Look at that. You see it spiral, right?
Yeah, I've seen that. I was going to say that.
Yeah, and then the other thing we could look at, if we reverse this footage, you can actually see the dude's reflection in this window, right? there.
Mm.
Yep.
Well, I have a hard time zooming this in, but you can see it. He's just got both his hands. There's no cigarette in his mouth. I mean, it's crazy.
Mm.
So
Very
that was their debunk terminology.
Yeah, that was their whole debunk. It was cigarette smoke. The other one was I also posted an article that this X had been melting lawn furniture suddenly. That's what the article said. Suddenly.
Mm.
Yeah, I
What
saw
are those
that.
reflections there on that fence? What is that?
What is this?
Yeah.
I believe you got these cones of light that only that are reflecting off this window from behind him.
Okay.
And normally you're going to get square windows, and some of these windows are kind of a dimmer light. I was going to show footage on another video that this guy was walking, and to definitely show, well, square windows reflect square light. You're not going to get this image.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're actually reflecting the sun simulator.
And
Exactly.
I've seen that circular X pattern
Mm-hmm.
many times before.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt.
That one right there, Jeff? Right there in the middle?
Yeah.
Is that what you guys are talking about right
Yeah.
there?
Yeah,
I mean,
This object here.
Okay.
And then some clowns tried to say that this was the hubcap rims. And look, how many spokes do you see on this non-reflective surface?
yeah,
that's
the
what-
plastic.
Look at on the side of this car here too. See it? On the silver car?
Yes.
Door. Yeah, right there on the door.
Yeah, there's no smoke. I mean, if you guys had the patience, I could pull up the footage of the furniture that was burning.
Mm.
And I could show you the article. And it was burning suddenly. And what their excuse was, the only problem is the webpage is really slow to load up.
Mm.
But it was actually melting lawn furniture suddenly.
Wow.
Really?
Okay. And the heat from their trolls that came out and said that the heat of the sun flexed out the tempered glass like a lens and melted the lawn furniture from over 50 feet out. Suddenly.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was the official story.
Was probably at the focal point of the lens in front of the simulator.
Exactly. I think that the lens from the window that's reflecting off of might change the focal length a little bit, making this more dramatic. I even had a lady on. I was searching around on YouTube, and another lady, it suddenly appeared also, straight from the ground.
Jeff, did you ever look at that one I sent you, or was on my video there? It looks just like that X, but it's got beam of light going right through the middle of it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I saw.
Oh yeah. Let me show you something else that's pretty stunning. You want to see the red Kachina before your very eyes? Before I lose it. This camera here, we had one footage earlier. And I'm going to zoom this in for you. And the timestamp of this one, we had all the skies of Europe were purple and red at this timestamp.
Wow.
That's impressive right there. That was,
Right? Now, look at the time on this thing, right? The timing was October 31st, 6:50, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I also had timestamps. Look at the purple skies the same days. I had all these flags here on purple days.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just look at one of them. I'll show you what I'm talking about. We'll punch in. Look at pink skies. It happened again on November 9th, all across Europe. But this is a different one. We're going to go to October 31st, 6 o'clock. We'll go to the thumbnail here. And lo and behold, at 6:50, pink skies. Just for 10 minutes.
Mm.
See that?
Yeah.
Yep.
And we punch in another camera. Here's another camera. So I'm on the side of Europe. Again, we'll go to October 31st, go to 7 a.m. We'll go to the thumbnail. It's not exact time here. And look, at 6:40, pink skies. Just for 10 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't stay. It's not like it's
No,
consistent.
it sweeps across the sky.
Wow.
Look at this one. We're gonna go October. Look at the red skies there. Oh man, I posted that one in the chat. Look at this. Does that take your breath away? This was November 9th. Remember this all across Europe. You can punch this time in 7 o'clock.
That's crystal clear too, man.
Look at that, just for 10 minutes.
What's
Yeah.
the
Look how deep red that is.
This was occurring in South Africa in 2016. Not as dramatic, but always at sunset.
Yeah.
I wonder if it has something to do with the lens going in front of the simulator.
No, I think what it is
I
during
think it's
the
planetary
day,
atmosphere. So.
they add a lot of blue light to the sky. So we don't see when the red dust comes and starts absorbing light. If they weren't adding the extra blue to the sky, we would have red skies all the time. But it's only at sunset when they somehow lower the amount of blue light in the atmosphere to create the effect of the sun setting that we suddenly see it. And then they go into the nighttime projection, and there's just no light for the stellar core dust to absorb, so it just goes dark. But we see it at sunset and sunrise, and the effect seems to be increasing, which suggests that there's more and more of this dust in the atmosphere absorbing energy or light.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no doubt that the skies have been looking really, really weird over the last couple of months. There's just no doubt.
See one there with the yellow. The yellow means that it's reflecting red and green, and it's absorbing blue. That's why it looks yellow. So then you get the yellow skies.
Well, speaking of yellow, it was just reported just before we went on the air that it snowed in China yesterday, and the snow was yellow. So I haven't, I haven't gotten into the whole background of the story yet. Later on this evening, I'm gonna, try to dig into that and find out why it was snowing yellow in China. I know some probably say because of their pollution, blah blah blah.
Yeah, they always say pollution.
Yeah, let's go ahead and
that's why the oceans turn red as well. It's usually, something other than what it really is. Why the rivers turn red, it's usually pollution, but it's not. It's actually the same thing. It's this dust that keeps, this Planet X system dust that keeps coming in greater and greater quantities, and it absorbs light. And there's only one frequency that it reflects, and that's why it looks red. It's not normal, and it can make people sick because of the energy absorption process. And it absorbs electrons, so when it makes contact with living beings, and we all electrical in some way, it absorbs the electrons and bodily functions stop, like absorption of oxygen. That's why the fish die. That's why the birds in the sky are just dropping dead.
Yeah, they just had an occurrence in Australia where hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bats just died and fell out of the sky. They were absolutely everywhere.
You guys see this footage here?
Yeah, I see the black dot on the.
You see the orbiting, rotating. Now, what do you think that is? I don't think that's actually the planet. I think what we're looking at is, because of the lenses in space, that the actual planet is being projected as a 3D hologram, or do you think that would be the actual planet?
Yeah, it probably is. It's just very difficult to see because of what's happening with our atmosphere, the haziness, and probably is being seen through a lens. And the only way we are seeing it is because it has an atmosphere that is emitting some light.
Yeah, it's definitely suspect, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely suspect. Yeah, I don't even usually show pictures where these objects, it's so difficult to be seen, so difficult to actually see it in PDF files because they're so faint.
What about this one, Claudia? Remember how we see the halo? This was taken in a single shot. Now You'll see how we see the halo on the space station.
Yes.
You see
Yes.
how dark.
I
Right?
think this
And then
is
as it passes over,
yes.
it disappears, and now the Earth is all lit up again when no halo.
Yeah. But you know what this is? I wrote an article about this because I believe this footage is actually done in a studio, and that's a simulator, but it's a simulator in a studio. And the Earth, they use a convex surface and they project the Earth onto it. I have examined some of this footage. It was from the ESA. It was clearly totally fake. It wasn't the real Earth from space at all.
So why would they do that then? Because they don't want to see what they're really seeing up there?
Well,
Like,
first of all, they don't
putting
want
in the
us to know that the ISS footage is basically just a soap opera. If they have an ISS up there, it's not controlled by NASA. It will be controlled by the secret space program. They don't want us to know the real ISS, so they have a fake one. NASA is faking everything. I showed the other day how that landing on Mars was totally fake. They were using actors.
Yeah, I'm starting to question what they're doing there on Mars. There's no doubt. Jeff, you want to flip your screen back over to me? I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Screen share.
Just go put your cursor to the top of your. Or go down into your lower menu bar. There you go. There you go. Yeah, folks, I want to show you. We were talking about in the very beginning the capture that I made just before we went on air, 30 minutes before we started this live stream. And for any of you that are just jumping in here, I'm going to go ahead and show that photograph real quick. Let me just jump over here into these screenshots because I'm going to show you the photograph from about 9 months ago. And this is what we were looking at earlier. So this is the 11th. This is on the SDO. And you could clearly see that. I mean, that's not a coronal cavity or any other type of anomaly. That is a solid structure right there. I'll go ahead and you can see I took 2 clips of it and watch it move. So there's no doubt that this is our big boy. This is our big object that orbits our sun in about a 28-day orbit. And this is a little bit closer. So once again, completely undeniable. Now, you would say, okay, well, you caught it once. No, I've caught it more than once. I've caught it numerous times. And we're going to go ahead and jump out of this, and I'll show you. This is from probably about 9 months ago. And there you go. Same position.
Wow.
Why is this not?
Wow. That's the blue Kool-Aid. You had some cool stuff you wanted to show us?
Well, I had a couple pictures, but I mean, I wanted you to especially see this one I had. If you want to give me the screen for a second, I can show you real quick.
Yep, I got you going right there. There you go.
Ready? Oops. Entire screen. Yes. There. Am I up there?
Yep.
All right. Not sure if you guys can see that or not. That's not really the one I wanted to show you. That was from the core too, but anybody know what causes that? Anybody?
Well, that's obviously very bright light there. Some kind of electrical reaction with the sun, or the sun ejecting corona towards one of the largest stellar cores. The largest stellar cores are not able to pull matter right off the surface of the sun. The gravitational interaction they're able to exert is not strong enough. It's only the small ones that go in that can do that. But what happens is there's an electrical interaction. And through that electrical interaction, the sun actually, a current flows from the sun towards the objects. And that can then produce things like that. So that's a whole lot of current, charged particles moving from the sun towards that stellar core that may be just outside of what we can see of that image.
Okay. Yeah, I always wondered what that was. This is actually kind of an old one.
Well, it must be light. It's,
yeah,
it's bright.
It's definitely bright for sure. Let me I want to show that one. This is the one I really wanted to show. Yeah, I did that one too. I think everybody's done that. Kind of a. You wrote a paper on that one, didn't you, Dr. Albers?
Yes, I've done that. I've used a lot of those images.
That's the one I want to show Jeff right there. I don't know.
Yeah, there it is. There's the part of the lens.
Whoa, yeah. I've seen that before, actually. See, look, doesn't that, can't you see the spiral and X right in that very photo?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Exactly. That's what I think we're looking at. I mean, that this structure, I think we're starting to see it more and more, like I was showing you in that giant lens solar thing with the lightning in it.
Yes.
Yep. Even the sun looks kind of odd right there. Like I think I seen one where it was kind of split down the middle, and it was like you were trying to explain it on your video, and I was watching it. I didn't quite understand it completely yet. I'm gonna go back and rewatch it.
I read the patent on it at one of the articles before. I think they were talking about it was revolutionary hyperbaric array of hyperbaric. What was that? The array of hyperbaric revolutionaries or something like that.
Hyperbolic?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll pull up the document on it. And I had a little demonstration of it. When you Google it to show what that even looks like, it shows it's something that it's an array of them, though.
Okay. It looks like.
You were saying, Jeff, they spin, don't they?
Yeah, it's spinning. And I think that's exactly what we're looking at. If you think about, I'm gonna have to pull up that hyperbaric so we're all on the same page here. I made a video with the Star Trek thing. We know it wasn't. It was the Star Trek Sun Simulator mock-up thing. We all got duped. Predicted program.
Yeah. Let me know when you're ready. You can have the screen back, Jeff. I'm gonna show one more thing here.
Okay, you go for it. I want to pull up the screen on this.
Now, this is 2 different days, and I talked to Scott about this a little bit. But we talk about this reverse pressure right here. But why are we seeing a bow the other direction, towards the Earth, and not going the other way?
Yeah, well, that's not abnormal because, I mean, if the sun was still having a solar wind, I doubt that it is, but the objects are still going to the sun and coming towards the Earth. So that's the type of solar wind we are having. It's actually objects in the debris field coming in towards Earth. Now, that's not abnormal because the solar particles go around the bow shock, around the magnetosphere, and go around and back in towards from the back side. They always come in from the back side.
Yeah, they get sucked in.
Kind of get sucked back towards the Earth.
Yeah.
On the dark side of the Earth.
Yeah. Okay. That makes
Yeah,
perfect
now,
sense.
I think these are simulations based on the spacecraft data. So I'm not sure what they're doing with these simulations, if they're actually using the data. They can fake just about everything, especially with a simulation. I mean, are they using actual data, or are they putting in fake data to produce the simulations? I don't know. This is why I actually have stopped looking at these, because I don't think they are going to show us what's actually coming in.
I mean, I agree with that. And
It's all just digital stuff,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't like it is a direct camera.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
this is data getting entered into a model, and ain't that kind of what it is?
That's right. It's a model.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like the weather models.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
we can definitely
see if they're using real data or not.
Yeah, we can definitely make some assertions to what we're seeing, but it's not like a real live observation through
Right.
a camera. It's data that is being translated into a computer program to give you these effects. But I mean, I have to admit, some of what you're showing now is not something that you see frequently. You don't see this setup constantly on this magnetopause model. Like
Because
Dr.
the
Albers
one
said,
here on the left, it almost looks like it was intelligently put like that anyway. Looks
Yeah.
like a grid. I mean,
well, it's definitely weird and it's definitely suspect. And again, it's what the program is reading and translating from the data that it's being fed. So,
Right.
you know, it's definitely something to stay on top of and monitor and observe as much as possible. But again, you know, there are the high possibilities that they may manipulate some of this data. Back in 2016, myself and BP Earthwatch caught them using different data than what was actually occurring. We busted them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they do it once, you know they're going to do it more more often than that. And I think now it's not real data anymore that they're showing us.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning that direction too. I the more I get into it, the more I learn from listening to you guys. I mean, I'm coming to that same conclusion. It's like this square. If you guys can see where my cursor is, there's always that square is always there. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, that's definitely not normal if it's always there. I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting a square now and then, but always there is a bit over the top. In other words, they are simulating the data and then they're producing a simulation out of simulated data, basically.
Yep. I think that's exactly what this is. Because I get a lot of questions because I've shown a lot of these on my videos and just trying to learn and stuff, but I get a lot of questions. Why is this square here? And you can see it, and it's in every single one. If you look close enough, it's there.
Yeah, I think that proves that it has been manipulated.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, there's definitely high possibilities.
You know what? I don't use that either because it doesn't compel people. It doesn't show. I think what compels people is like something people see from the ground, looking at the sky.
Oh yeah, a true observation.
And yeah, I like the links you shot out over there on your webpage, planetxnews.org. Yeah, man, those links are even like if you're watching the magnetosphere and magnetopause stuff, it's definitely better than this model is what I'm saying.
Oh, you're talking about the new NOAA geo
Yep. And you know, that's another thing. And these satellites, these ghost satellites, been going down way too much. And
I think the satellites are definitely being affected by what's coming in. There's no doubt about it. You know, they are electronic devices. What do you think, Dr. Albers? You know, heavy induction of electrons.
To tell you the truth, I don't know how they've managed to stay up for so long. I have an inkling that the satellites may actually, some of them at least, may not be where they say they are. Some of them may actually be within the atmosphere, in the upper atmosphere. That's what I've been thinking recently. For example, the stereo spacecraft may actually not be where they say it is. It may be the stereo A may actually be within the Earth's atmosphere, in the upper atmosphere.
Hey, Jeff, I wanted you to look at this one too. See that?
Which one at the bottom?
It's right here.
Yeah, there's the cross again.
Right there.
Oh, wow.
And then there's a big, like, huge lens or whatever out here.
Yeah, I think that cross that we've seen it many times now, and I think that that's all part of the overlapping lenses. The structures that hold the lenses.
You're seeing this from different people in different locations under different circumstances, under different conditions, but yet the same anomaly appears. So, I mean, look, we're just going to break it down and let's just say, okay, we definitely know that they're doing something up in the sky. They're definitely simulating the sun. I do believe that they have, let's say, different models of the sun simulator going back to the first or the oldest sun simulator, and I think they've gotten better with their technology. So I think that they are using several versions of it at different points in time because we're seeing different effects. So I think these different effects are coming from different simulators.
Right. We've all seen the sun simulator commercial, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we've all seen, what you showed, Jeff, of the extended arm with the sun simulator light on it coming from the ISS. Okay, we've seen a bunch of different versions of this damn thing. So, I mean, that's just my theory and my opinion. But
Right.
we're
And that half of this picture here on the right, that's on the HI2. You see that?
Yeah, that's why you can see a big lens and you can see that object. That's
Right.
why I've been thinking that the stereo spacecraft may actually be in the upper atmosphere and not where they say they are, at 20 degrees along Earth's orbit, 120 degrees from Earth. But yeah.
Because it's right there, that this right here, this cross pattern thing is right here at the end of that,
Yeah,
that
it is.
appendage or whatever. I don't know if it's an occulter, but it's the one that's always there. We always wonder what's behind it.
well, back in June, what you're showing right there to the right, back in June, I tracked that object rotating through space and spinning like a massive space wheel, like a space habitat.
Mm-hmm.
And I showed it for, well, almost 10 days as it progressed through the SREM footage. And it was literally, it was literally rotating and moving.
Was it that?
Yeah, no, not that. That's the parachute bomb.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good name for it.
Yeah, I don't even know who the hell coined that phrase. I don't know if that was Steve Olson and Wayne.
Yeah, I think it was Steve. Yeah, it was Steve.
Or whoever coined that. But yeah, I tracked that on video and I showed it like pretty much every other day as it progressed. It reminded me of Werner von Braun's space wheel habitat. But again, we may never know unless, we have the powers that be that sit down and go into full disclosure and say, hey, yeah, man, here, check this out. This is what we did.
Yeah, we'll never get them to tell us the truth.
You guys see this one right here? Look at the.
Whoa, yeah.
Right here.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely a lens.
Yep, multiple lenses.
Mm.
Yep.
And then let me show you the edited one of those.
Yeah, we've got those. Yeah, that looks very familiar, actually.
Well, I got a lot of pictures of those.
We were looking at that magnetopause right there. I mean, look at that crazy thing. If it's even real data, but
yeah,
that's just.
Well, there's definitely something occurring. Now, don't get me wrong.
It looks like there's something happening.
Yeah, listen, don't get me wrong. There's definitely occurrences happening. And it's okay to look at these models. And it's okay to look at them every single day. But I do honestly think that some of these models are now experiencing things that maybe they weren't built for. Maybe they didn't build these GOES satellites to literally undergo the massive amount of particles and electrons, whatever these objects actually read. I don't know that much of the science behind them, but I'm not comfortable with saying everything that you're seeing is a complete lie, because that's pushing it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's really pushing it. So it's okay to look at the data and observe it, and maybe keep track of it. But again, it's really, really hard to say and judge what other people have control of. That's my point.
Yep. That's why, and I say this a lot on my channel. I never say anything's 100%. seems like every time I do that, it's like, you just get it thrown right back at you, and you figure out that you were wrong to begin with, and it's like, so I let people. My goal is to let people see it and judge for themselves. I mean, that's the only way they're going to believe anyway. But yeah, this is that same picture I just showed you, but it's zoomed in. You can see. I don't know what that is, and it's still got this.
You know what? I've seen that before, and that was like on a video. These are still. That's why I like videos better.
Right.
But I've seen the distortion before. Is what I think that is, and just it was a momentary distortion that we saw. And it might be like magnetic interference from a device that was hidden. If you watched my camera distortion videos, I had that exact same image show up, and you could hear the camera like making this buzzing sound, trying to cause this thing to focus. It was really bizarre.
Dr. Albers, do you have any idea what causes that?
Yeah, well, I've written some articles about that, and what it is it's a projection system that is being interrupted by another one. So that's it's difficult to explain. I have it in my articles.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go back and I was just curious. I didn't know if it was a simple explanation.
I can try and explain it, but it's part of the projection system that's not quite working. Where you have the orange is, well, they're trying to project blue light onto the sky. And they have different projectors projecting up into the sky. But there are regions where it's not getting to. So it's projecting this way. It's not able to project in that way, or it's interrupted by another one because they have to do multiple ones. So the only way you can get these straight lines is because it is a projector that's projecting light upwards. And yeah.
Because this went from, I actually caught this myself outside of a Walmart, and I wasn't even looking at it. My wife actually pointed this one out to me, and she's just now coming around, she's starting to wake up some. And this went from horizon to horizon. It was really, really odd. I mean,
yeah, you see, the sky would look orange or red to us all the time if they didn't add extra blue light to the sky.
Okay.
But the system they have in place is not perfect. There are all kinds of anomalies that crop up now and then, like this, because they're not able, perhaps some of them were not working or parts of it was not working. But the only way you can have a straight line like that is because you have an artificial projection.
Yeah, it's definitely projected. Definitely like projected light.
Base of it shooting it across the sky like that. Is my understanding of that right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the light source would be here, and then this is all the blue light they're pumping out in there.
Yeah, but it's definitely far, far away.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me. We're dealing with things on a much, much larger scale. What I wanted to add to the picture that you're showing now is this really started to occur, and it was being seen for the first time. I believe it was in Argentina in 2016. And it literally made the news all the way up here into the United States. It also made it onto one of the Science Channel's TV programs.
Okay.
And they had interviewed a meteorologist, scientists, about this effect. And I have to say that the meteorologist, the scientists' explanation for this totally sucked. And it was totally scripted. And you can tell by her body language on the program that it was scripted and she didn't know what the hell she was looking at.
Wow.
And it was the video footage from Argentina where that occurred for the first time, and people saw it and publicized it, was 10 times more intense than what you're showing here. And it was seen by thousands and thousands of people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you get a lot of reports like that, yeah. I mean, and I think that's what's going to continue to happen because eventually they can't hide it. There's no way.
Yeah, you see that they are trying to hide it with all these devices they have that project light into the sky. So you will have each projector would have a red, a green, and a blue laser beam or laser projection system. So you will get the red going out, the green going out, and sometimes it just doesn't work properly. And then you end up with these diverging lines. And it's diverging because the source of the light is in the atmosphere. It's not the sun at infinity like it used to be. It's devices in the atmosphere and so close. And so whatever they project is always diverges from the source.
Yeah, it's definitely a good capture. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I do some of my best work in the parking lots of the Walmart. I'm dead serious.
I'm with you. It's wide open. You can see stuff. So,
no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. I thought that was like crazy. Now, is our atmosphere acting like a substrate? Is this reflective light that we're seeing? Like,
the thing is, they use holographic projection system, which they actually have to create it's like a photographic plate through which you shine light and then you produce a hologram. But the plate and the projection system is all one because the plate itself is computer generated. So it's like producing a photograph, but it's not two-dimensional, it's three-dimensional.
Okay.
So it goes through an interference pattern that then creates a light field. So it produces a three-dimensional image, and it looks like a real object in space. Wow. Because it's three-dimensional, but it's not real. I mean, you can put your hand through it.
Right.
Yeah, they definitely, the military definitely has holographic projection technology. They've had it for quite a while. I've seen some examples of the military version of it, and it's pretty damn intense. Now, I've also found out that they have what is supposedly alien holographic projections that you can touch, meaning the holographic projection, you can touch it.
Yeah, touchable. Yeah,
exactly. So there is so much out there that we really don't even know about. And, you can get into the whole alien. I don't even want to use the word theory because to me, it's no longer a theory. I think
these lenses that we've been talking about are part of the Project Bluebeam.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it, folks. I mean, there have been so many people over the course of the last 20 years that have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that, we have alien technology. We have interacted with different alien races. And at the end of this live stream, I'm going to show you a video clip that was just aired on Ukrainian TV. And this is going to go into the shapeshifters and the reptilians. But I've done some research on this, and I've seen countless videos about this subject matter. And I have to say, I'm kind of sold because I don't think that it's fake.
Okay.
So, a lot of weird things, that's a whole different subject matter, getting into the alien theory. But people like David Wilcock and Corey Good and Emery Smith, all of the whistleblowers that have recently come out and have worked in these secret space programs, look, okay, they're all very credible. The information that they produce is so far off the wall that it has to be true.
Right.
I mean, it's almost like a Hollywood writer, producer, and director would have had to have helped them put this together when they're doing their shows with David Wilcock and they're exposing all of this.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, you guys see that? That's like one of the ancient symbols and stuff, and it looks like that little, like the sun simulator we've been talking about with the cross pattern on it.
Exactly. And if you go and you research ancient alien technology and theory, where do you think that we're getting it from? Where do you think that we get, fiber optic light? Where do you think we got microwaves? Where do you think we got lasers? Where do you think we got Kevlar? Where do you think we got all of this?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
this all starts back into the early 1950s, right after Roswell. So there you go. Like I said, that's a whole nother subject. Real quick, Mark.
You seen that before?
Yeah, I've actually caught the double holographic birds just a few months ago.
Here, I'll stop sharing, guys. You guys can have the screen back, whoever wants it.
Yeah, that's a pretty good picture. I've actually caught that just recently. I was showing Dr. Albers. I was, videotaping this hawk up in the sky, and when I looked at the video on my computer, it was like it was a holographic image, and two of them appeared, but there weren't two in the sky. One was faint, and I was using an ultra high definition 4K $3,000 video camera.
Wow.
Okay, so it's not like I was using a cell phone.
My car didn't even cost that much.
But yeah, folks, I'm going to go ahead and I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit here. But I wanted to continue to show you guys real quick on the subject matter that we were on before about what was captured today on the SDO. This is the older photograph from about 9 months ago. So there you go. I mean, it is in the identical position as it was today.
Now, it has a hole in it, right? Is that what we're looking at?
No, you're just looking. I mean, that's not a hole in it. That could possibly be another object near it, or just part of the imagery.
Okay.
But I'll give you another quick look at this because this blew the doors off of things. This is a high definition photograph here also. So I mean, it's well within the sun's corona.
Well, there it is. Wow.
And at the same time, at the same time, that day that I captured this, we also caught a smaller one together with this big one at a lower position. And I'll show it to you.
Now that right there you just showed, Scott, that picture, the previous one there.
What's that?
Is that spot there on the sun always there?
That round circle?
No, the dark spot on the actual sun itself.
Right there?
Yeah, down in there.
That's a coronal hole that was opening up.
You said these are 9 months apart?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll show you once again the photographs from today.
Okay.
So here's today. Damn near same position.
Man. Goodness.
Yeah. So there's no doubt that the objects actually exist. I'm going to show you real quick the smaller one that we captured, and this was 9 months ago when we captured the larger one. Let me just buzz all the way through here and get down to it, and just proving a point to people that may have some doubts in their mind about what they're looking at. And this was at the same time.
Yeah, this one is amazing.
So we have the smaller one
on it.
Yeah, we have the smaller
energy
one.
transfer from the sun. It's a react. Wow.
This one is amazing.
Wow.
And you can see it's actually, this one's actually striped.
Yeah, and you can see the stripes are curved. They follow the curvature of the object because it's a three-dimensional object.
This is the original photograph.
Yeah, it's...
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, remember, at the same time, we're looking at the smaller one here. The big one is way up here.
So are you thinking they're traveling together? Is that
well,
what?
I mean, it's definitely the sun has captured, more than one of these objects, but there's a high possibility that the larger core has other objects orbiting with it. Because brown dwarf stars are known to have other stellar bodies orbiting around them. We talked about that early this morning.
Yep.
So a brown dwarf even has weather on them, as far as what the scientists have been able to prove and detect. But there's definitely a high possibility that there are a lot of these objects orbiting with a larger one and making their way around the sun. We don't really know how far out that it actually reaches. It could actually reach out to the outer edges of our solar system. We just don't have any cameras out there that we're allowed to see.
Weren't you saying it was like rotating at an extremely fast speed also?
Oh, yeah. Brown dwarfs. Sorry, folks, I'm starting to lose my voice. Brown dwarfs have a very, very fast rotational speed. That's something that these astrophysicists have detected over the past about 7 to 8 years. How they make these assertions, I don't exactly know. But all I know is what we're literally observing with our own eyes. Okay, wow. That is something right there that you cannot deny.
Well, they move extremely fast,
yeah,
because when we have a CME come in, what we actually have is a group of stellar cores coming in towards Earth. And we know the speeds at which they travel. It's about 750 to 1,000 kilometers per second. So these objects are not normal in any way. They do not travel like normal objects. And this is why they tell us, oh, it's a CME coming in. No, the CMEs are actually caused by the object absorbing material from the sun. And then there's a reaction and the sun ejects them. And they move away from the sun at these incredible speeds.
And that reminds me of the hypervelocity stars and hypervelocity planets that are ejected from the center of our galaxy. And it seems the sun has the ability to do that to these objects.
Yeah, because a lot of these stories we read that they say this is happening here and there is actually disclosure, or they get the idea from what's actually happening in the solar system.
Exactly. My point exactly. So, I mean, look, folks, I mean, you're seeing it on your screen. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I think that myself and Dr. Albers have proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that our inner solar system has been invaded. Our solar system in general has been invaded. And these objects are here. They're here to stay. They are going to influence the sun in a very, very negative way. And in turn, that's going to affect our planet in a very catastrophic way. We are already seeing this intensity. It's happening now. You are truly in the awakening. So for all of you that are kind of teetering on the fence, that's why I wanted to show all of you some of my observations that maybe you haven't seen, because I've been at this for a long, long time. I've only been on the YouTube channel for a couple of years now, since 2016. But I just thought it was time for everybody to truly understand and know what is out there and what's going to happen. Not sitting here being a fearmonger and Donnie Downer, but you see the very severe earth changes and the very, very severe weather changes. And folks, that is going to get worse. It has absolutely nothing to do with Al Gore climate change. Okay? Nothing to do with that whatsoever. We have very, very serious problems occurring. And it's just going to be something that we have to get used to. We have to learn to live with, and probably eventually learn to survive with.
Yep.
That much is a fact.
Yep.
What do you think about that, Jeff P?
I have to say, I agree, buddy.
Jeff left. He's going to go get some bottled water.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely, I definitely stock up on some things. Real quick, folks, we're gonna wrap our live stream up here in a few minutes. I want to show you this this video. It's on I posted it on the Planet X News website, and I picked this up. This was coming out of Ukraine, and this is the title. It says, TV presenter reveals reptilian eyes. You know, it had to be translated from the Ukrainian language, but this comes with actual video. And I posted it up on our Planet X News website. You guys definitely should check this out. And let's get down to the video because it's really, really freaky, man.
So, you know, at the Denver airport, they just recently posted up a bunch of pictures of businessmen with lizard heads.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen that, Jeff.
Yeah, it's crazy. I guess they protested and they finally took them down.
Wow, see your eyes? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
just watch this video. Watch.
You probably should slow it down.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
You know, full on shift on us.
Gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Well, yeah, the vertical blink. Damn.
You know, they've been programming
That's
this
just
stuff
like
in-
Miley Cyrus. She did the same thing.
Yep. You guys remember back in the day the weekly series called V?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so creepy.
Isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
You know what's funny? Remember The Arrival shows the red skies. Looks like the arrival of Planet X.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying to Dr. Albers, now every commercial we see has purple skies in it.
Wait.
I was watching an animated commercial with Frosty the Snowman and a little boy animated figure, and the sky in the background was bright fuchsia pink.
Yeah. They want people to stop noticing. That's why they put it in everything.
Yeah,
They're
well,
trying to make people normal to it. What do they call that?
exactly. It's
Exactly.
predictive programming, man. That's
Yeah,
all.
predictive program. You throw it out there, it's normal. Yeah, what's wrong? I don't have purple sky, so what? Now, what's the problem with the purple skies?
Mhm.
We always have purple skies.
Right.
Exactly.
Here, buddy.
That's
We
all
saw
look at our cell
cartoons.
phones so we can't see sun simulators either.
Yeah.
They're like, what are you talking about? We've always had purple skies. Since when? We've always had dark sun halos and red sun halos. And
Yeah. You know, when I got my 65-year-old dad telling me that the skies, he's never seen it look like that, and he don't even know what I do on a YouTube channel. You know, that just, yeah,
Mhm.
it just tells me that something is not normal.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's pretty wild stuff right there, man.
It's crazy, man. My
that's
ball.
probably the best shape-shifting eyes I've ever seen. Normally it's a little fuzzy, but that was crystal clear. I can even see the texture of her, like her second eyelids.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's no doubt, man. I mean, I caught that probably about an hour before we went on the air, and I saw the headlines for it because I subscribe to news channel outlets and media outlets all around the world. I mean, like almost every single country. And you know, I'm kind of looking for things like that. And lo and behold, I see this headline coming from the Ukraine, And I'm like, okay, I got to check this out.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's crystal clear. And again, that is one of the best, reptilian shapeshift eye videos that I've ever seen. Is it real or is it Memorex? I don't know, but it's pretty damn crystal clear. And it doesn't
Usually when
look
we
like,
see those are like really, really blurry,
Yeah.
and pixelated. That was like impressively clear.
I know, man. I know. Well, listen,
You
I'm
guys
gonna go
remember the
now.
movie Soylent Green?
And Jeff P, any last words for everybody? I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to touch on two predictive programming movies worth watching. In the movie Soylent Green, about 22 minutes into the video, there's an old man that gets out these two books, how to dust them off, and it's a Soylent Green oceanography or study or something like that. And this study, and it has the years on it, saying 2015 to 2019.
Wow.
And then another movie, Night of the Comet, which shows the Earth is passing through at the tail of this thing, and everybody's looking at it. Everything turns red, and it happens at Christmas time.
Wow.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, check out that Soylent Green though, man. That was kind of. I was like, I looked at it. What? How'd they know? And
Yeah.
the movie came out in 1978 or 73.
Yeah, they knew then. I mean, that's one of the things I found out is that they knew by the 1960s. I think it was early 1960s that something was up. I've written an article about that because the first sun simulator patent is from 1961. It was filed in 1961, and it's fake patent because it would never have worked. They reversed the direction of one of the mirrors. They replaced what should have been a concave mirror with a convex mirror. So, and no one filing a real patent would make a mistake like that because they understand geometric optics enough not to make it. That's a terrible mistake. So obviously it's fake. And so it's disclosure about when they knew that they needed these simulators. They needed them by, they were saying they knew they needed them in 1961. But it's not surprising because the Nazis,
Nazis.
They were going into space in the 1930s because they got reverse engineered alien technology by then. And by the end of the Second World War, both Russia and the US got the technology to go into space. And the moment they went into space, they must have found out what was going on with the comets and the sun. I mean, they must have found out the sun was dying then.
Or they had some inkling of something.
Yeah, but that's why they started working on the simulators in 1961.
Yeah,
I mean, they must have started even before then.
Yeah, there's so much out there that we still don't know. We still don't know everything about, and little by little, it is coming out. There are a lot of people out there that are government whistleblowers, and they are divulging the information. And I also am starting to see that through different TV programs, we're seeing through commercials. We've also seen through movies over the years, the predictive programming, and we're now seeing it as part of everyday life. And that is their whole program. And each and every one of us are slowly being programmed to accept what we're seeing as being normal. And that's just a fact. It's happening. If you are very analytical like I am, and I observe everything, and I see right through it, and I see it happening now on a daily basis, just about everything that you view. So we're going to have to get used to it. Blue Kool-Aid, Mark, you have any last words?
Well, I guess what I would say would be, don't be afraid to ask questions. Anybody listening to us right now, I mean, that's the only way you're going to learn. I mean, you can go do what you need to do, but, lean on the guys that have been around, which is what I've done. And I'm learning every day. I talk to Scott quite often, and I've watched a lot of Dr. Albers, her papers, and it just, and Jeff, your videos, man. I mean, the sun simulator, you're the one that broke that wide open, dude. I mean, that I get questions about, how's this sun simulator thing work? And I'm like, man, I'll just give you a link to his channel. Go over and look at it yourself, I mean, because that's how you're going to believe. I just
that one with the Star Trek was the most comprehensive one I think we've had yet.
Yeah, that little piece of predictive programming.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, there's no doubt, folks, that over the years, Jeff has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that there's definitely something up there. I think there's more than one device up there.
Could be 12 or something, right?
I mean, Lord only knows. They keep sending rocket after rocket after rocket, and they've been doing that since the days of the space shuttle. So, I think that they already have other structures built up there. As far as what the scientists say, it's not very hard for them to build these habitats like the International Space Station. They're basically just, click together as they launch the large pieces up into space. Then they'll just link together, and bingo, there you go. You have the International Space Station, and the space station's quite old. So I would probably think that if they did build something over the last 10 years, they've probably been building something up there.
Yeah, just watch the movie Icarus.
What's that weird noise?
I don't know. What was that? Is that coming from you?
I don't know what it was. It was like weird, like this humming.
Yeah, I heard it too.
Well, it's probably the fan from my laptop.
Yeah, definitely something weird. But folks,
all right, we better get going.
If you're not subscribed to Jeff P's channel, get over there, subscribe to his channel, Planet X News, Mark's Blue Kool-Aid channel, and Dr. Claudia Albers' YouTube channel. We try to bring you the best information. The majority of the time, you're going to get groundbreaking information coming from these YouTube channels. Great observation and honest, just honest. We're not going to be showing you simple little picture shows. We're going to try to show you the absolute scientific proof and observations. Yep, absolutely. And listen, folks, I just wanted to touch on one thing. I'm hoping to God that this doesn't come true. Over the course of the last week, I've been having this reoccurring dream on and on. Every single time I lay my head down to sleep, I'm having the same dream. And it's of another massive earthquake in the Indian Ocean, basically another Sumatra event. But this time we're talking a magnitude 8 or above, producing another catastrophic tsunami. The worst part is it's for some reason it keeps ringing in my head about the Christmas time, the week of Christmas. And usually when I have a reoccurring dream like that, something happens like that. I'm not saying I'm some type of a psychic or clairvoyant, but I'm seeing this. It's so vivid and it's so clear. And I'm hoping to God that something like that does not occur, period. But it's kind of got me worried. I've been thinking about it constantly, and things just seem to be entirely too clear about these dates. I would have to say from the 21st to about the 26th. So I don't know. Let's see.
Hopefully, well, we got a super blood moon coming up, a sign of the times as well.
Yeah, hopefully I'm dead wrong and that does not occur. I hope to God it does not occur, because the last time, what was it? 250,000 people lost their lives pretty much instantly. And it was pretty devastating.
And that was at Christmas too.
Exactly. So I don't know if it's just my subconscious mind thinking about it, or something is actually going to occur. We will definitely see. But listen, folks, stay safe out there. Watch your weather. Pay very, very close attention to your weather. I'm going to start doing a little bit more reporting on the weather because I'm starting to see some very, very dangerous situations that are happening with our weather and our jet stream. I think all of you need to know about it, and you need to pay close attention to it. I'd like to thank Jeff P., Dr. Albers, and Mark from Blue Kool-Aid for joining us. Make sure you're subscribed to their YouTube channels. And folks, be safe out there. Keep an eye in the sky. You see something strange, take a photograph, send it in. We'll definitely check it out. Take care, folks.
Okay, good night.